Rank 4 Tigra. It's like an actual dream come true. I've been one to play Tigra before it was even cool to play Tigra. Back before she was even a really popular champion to be playing, I was using the 6-star version, partly because she was one of my early 6 stars on my account. I think she was in like the first 20 that I acquired. But I've also just enjoyed the playstyle. I like hard champs to play. I like champs with a lot of weird, diverse playstyles, more than like the basic 5A combo or parry heavy kind of champs. I really like challenging my brain for each matchup with how I want to approach the fight. And Tigra is basically the pinnacle of all of that, because so many different matchups with Tigra are different, so many technical abilities you want to have in order to master Tigra, and with the years of practice that I've had, I can safely say that I think I've been able to do that kind of thing. Which, you know, makes sense considering I've made a 42-minute showcase video with clips that I actually cut from the video that was going to make this about an hour long. But I didn't want to bore you too much, I only wanted to bore you for 42 minutes, so instead we're going to be doing a 42-minute showcase rather than an hour one, and it's going to be quite a few fights. Where we kind of rip things to shreds with Tigra. Yeah, so Tigra's very cool. I really like the charge heavy to make a miss playstyle. I really like the whiffing light attacks playstyle to balance distance between you and the opponent. Distance is something that's always really interesting in this game and how it works. Champions like Tigra really focus on that offensively, and champions like Zola really amplify that defensively on how distance actually affects things in this game. Different characters have different dash back distances, different dash attack speeds, and it's really interesting how some of these minor details that you wouldn't think matter in this game actually do matter for some characters. And yeah, Tigra is the pinnacle of that on attack. She's also the pinnacle of damage on attack, because that was a Maestro with a physical resist stat focus that died in 25 seconds, and Maestro with Tigra is one of those matchups where if you do not kill in a very short amount of time, he's gonna make your life miserable. But having the rank 4 rank to allow me to punch down in the fight really makes it a lot easier. This is a rank 4 Serpent. She is probably my favorite Serpent counter on my account. She's also probably the best Serpent counter I have ranked up, because this is gonna be like a 39-second fight, and I believe that's the fastest Serpent takedown I think I've ever had on my account. So it goes pretty well. I did forget about the fear there stopping my unblockable, so that was a bit of a risky thing to do. I should have just waited for a casual special intercept, but it worked out, I guess. I don't know. So he goes down in 39 seconds, which, yeah, I think is like the fastest Serpent fight I've ever had. So now we're going to go fight Arnim Zola. I didn't really think about using Tigra for Zola until I got her as a 7-star, probably because I wasn't playing too much 6-star Tigra anymore, just because she wants to have equal ranks if you can help it. But Zola's definitely the most relevant tech defender in the game right now. In fact, he is probably top 5 most relevant defenders in the game for sure. Like, I would put him possibly top 3, with like Serpent and Enchantress. And Tigra, if he plays ball enough with you, this fight's pretty much a joke. Like, I don't think Tigra's very AI reliant. People use the AI reliant excuse with Tigra way too often, but I do think that it makes sense for the Zola matchup, because he can screw you over sometimes, as more often than other defenders when you're using Tigra for him. However, if you play it right and try to control his AI as best as you actually can, it goes pretty well. And as you saw there, that was a 45-second Zola takedown, which is also probably the fastest Zola takedown my account's ever had. So now we're going to fight Onslaught. Onslaught, you usually just kind of bait heavies with Tigra, and then retaliate with your heavies, and then drop a special 2. And this is one where it's like having a 7-star Tigra now just makes this matchup feel so much different, because we used to have a 6-star Tigra with pretty mediocre block proficiency, and now we have a 7-star Tigra with access to a much larger health pool and a block proficiency stat focus, which just allows me to take a lot more block damage and compensate for the fact that I did lose some health. I can still kill like really fast, or to compensate for it. I kind of worded that sentence a little weirdly, but I think you understand what I mean, hopefully. If not, then I don't blame you. But now we're gonna go fight Nick Fury. Definitely made a very big defender resurgence because of Heart of Fire. Probably the most resurgent defender of the 5 old champs that became new champs, kind of. And of course Dark Phoenix is probably the most relevant of those, but Nick Fury is certainly up there. He's still going to be Nick Fury. He's still going to be the only champ who does what he does, and yeah, he's never not going to be a relevant defender now. And I somehow ate a special one there. Zero clue how that happened, but it's going to cause me to take some unnecessary block damage that I didn't need to take. And then Nick's gonna die. This was like a 50-second fight, which is also one of the fastest Nick Fury takedowns I've ever had. There's a lot of fastest fights I've ever had in this video, if you haven't noticed yet. Because Tigra kind of does a lot of damage when you can just kind of nuke things like that. So, now we're gonna fight Enchantress. I like using Tigra for Enchantress for sure. There's not much that makes this matchup like extremely great for her, other than the fact that she kind of kills things really fast. Because she doesn't really have any counter tools as far as utility goes. And Tigra doesn't necessarily have a lot of utility for a lot of these matchups we're doing. Stuff like Zola, where you have the Miss, is definitely some utility. Stuff like the Neutralize for Serpent is definitely utility. But for Maestro, Onslaught, Enchantress, Nick Fury, it's kind of just like, hey, we can kill things really fast, that's why we're winning. And then the end of the fight here is going to go a little haywire, but as Enchantress fights do, we still kill her pretty fast, so it didn't matter too much. And yeah, like, I made a BG's showcase with Tigra. I think I have like about half of the BG's fights from that showcase in this one. I tried to limit myself to like the only like the really strong, really relevant defenders that Tigra's good for, but some of them, like Dust, I'm just like, dude, this is such a cool matchup, I have to include it anyway. And I mean, Dust is definitely a meta defender. Like, I place her all the time on my own account, and she's still very successful. But at the same time, you don't see her as often as some of the defenders you've seen before Dust in this video. And yeah, this one goes really well. I think this is like the first time I used Dust versus Tigra. I had a second attempt that I also recorded and went way better, but for some reason when I threw these clips into the software, I picked this one instead. I mean, it still goes great, but like the other one was even better. I should have shown that one instead, but who cares, right? Also, my alliance mate Anthem had a even better Enchantress fight with Tigra than I did, so that's pretty cool. Now we're gonna go fight Kindred. This was always like my OG Kindred counter along with Mr. Negative. When Kindred was like the defender when he first came out, because I like to say Kindred was like the defender that spawned all these defender introductions, because like the game wasn't really focused on extremely hard defenders back then. Kindred kind of started that, Kindred, Photon, and then eventually Onslaught, all in that year. So he was definitely something to be, like a force to be reckoned with when he first came out. Tigra and Mr. Negative were always like my go-tos for him, and they still are. They still are probably my go-tos for Kindred more than any other champ. So anyway, he dies in 34 seconds. And this is the last BG's fight of the video, and then we'll move on to other content. This is against a rank 4 Man-Thing, which actually didn't make the BG showcase. I completely forgot to put it in there. That's kind of why it's here. But Man-Thing's not a meta defender anymore, but there's a really cool interaction that is worth showing, which is why I'm doing this one. It's the fact that the Neutralize is actually going to stop the puzzle buffs, because for some reason Neutralize is going to stop buffs that would be placed on you by defenders. I don't exactly know how that works, but it's how it's always worked. This translates to like Mojo's hater buffs, Kushala's ignition buffs. If you 8 hits in those matchups, which you probably aren't because it's Kushala and Mojo, but also that's an example of how that would be used along with the Man-Thing matchup. So anyway, Man-Thing goes down 43 seconds. He's still a tanky defender. Let's let's make sure that is addressed. He is definitely one of the bigger health pools in the game. But also, he's still not much of a relevant defender anymore, especially with the current state of the science class. So, yeah, I mean, it's Man-Thing. But now we're going to move on to Alliance War. I think all of these war fights are taken in season, and I guess I can't really take off-season fights because this map is dumb. But I did take one. You're going to see that later in the video. One off-season fight. So, all this is to say that these fights will be boosted because I'm not going to throw in Tier 1 War. And if you have a problem with that, then I'm sorry, but expect nothing less than boosted Tigra if you're going to watch in-season war gameplay, because I'm not going to throw. But either way, that Werewolf by Night went down really fast, and I could barely talk about what happened. So anyway, we're going to move on to Medusa now, because I don't think I needed to really say much there. He just kind of died really fast. And that's exactly what this Medusa is going to do. We're going to neutralize all of her Furies and regens after the first ones, and then it's kind of just like counter her specials in heavy, and then she's going to die, which is a really great playstyle. I absolutely love how effective that is. I go for like one heavy counter here, and then we drop the special 2, and she's kind of taking a lot of damage, as you can see. And she dies in like 19 seconds, I believe. So that went pretty successfully. And now we're going to go fight this arcade on node 47. This one is kind of just all about buffs. So if you can like neutralize the buffs, then you're kind of living. You don't want to nullify them because of return policy. I mean, I guess you could, but you have to deal with power gain. So maybe you don't want to do that. I like the Tigra versus Arcade matchup. You can make the special 1 miss at the end, and that's pretty cool. And she also just kind of nukes defenders, which is really good against Arcade. So I don't play this matchup perfectly. You're going to see that it's not going to go great. I'm baiting a special 1 here, but you really want to have Arcade like far into his wall when you go for the special 1 punish. So I kind of messed it up there, because he wasn't at his wall, so I got stand your grounded at the end because I couldn't counter his special 1 animation before he can react. That's okay. Like, we're just gonna go for another special 1 here, get my senses back online, and then I am gonna get in the cloud, question mark? Yeah, I am, but he only gets 1 token, and I'm also retaliating with a heavy, so he can't auto block anyway. And yeah, he's just gonna die. One more special 1 does the job, and we finished at full health. So, not the best fight on my end, but a great fight on Tigra's end. And we're gonna move on to fight this Gore here on node 35, which is, I always just say, is the old 42, because this was the node 42 on the old map, and that's 42 Gore was just always the placement back in the day. And you don't see Gore on defense too much anymore. He was tactic defense, so that kind of brought him back for a little bit, even though he probably didn't deserve to come back, but also sometimes you just have to do filler defenders, right? And Gore is kind of just a filler defender now, because every single friggin' Mystic just punishes buffs, right? As you'd expect, so I can't really complain about that, because that's just kind of a normal thing. But, yeah, Gore's just a potato. He's gonna die oh, he's just dead. Yeah, he died very fast. So, anyway, I don't know if you just heard my cat there. He's just trying to talk, I guess. You know, more important things to talk about are this Cersei fight, where we're going to be taking this with Tigra, in case you didn't know what attacker we're using. We're going to fight this 39 Cersei. We want to neutralize the buffs that Footloose would trigger, and also there's a node that lets the defender gain stun immunity when they activate a special. And then you can also just do this during Cersei's special attack. Is that the only way you can counter Cersei's specials? I think she has like a really quick recovery animation on both of her specials, so that might be like one of the few champs who can actually do that, is if you just use the miss with Tigra and stuff. So that's cool. And now we're gonna go fight this Medusa on the same node as the arcade. So yeah, kind of neutralize buffs, kind of win. Medusa's not doing anything on this node when Tigra is in play, and other champs like Hood during this meta were kind of crapping on this fight and this node in general, because it's kind of just like the most memeified, I guess, mini boss node, because average Mystic champ kind of destroyed champ who gets buff, right? And Tigra kind of just makes it to where the defenders don't gain buffs, because she has some of the best buff control in the game. Don't let anyone tell you that she doesn't have good buff control, because it's kind of absurd, the buff control that she can do when you just kind of place a passive that's going to prevent buffs basically at all time, and if you be aggressive, which Tigra already wants to do, you're going to be keeping it up and stuff. Yeah, so now we're going to go fight this Yelena Belova boss. She doesn't really counter Yelena other than making the SP2 miss, which I guess is actually pretty impactful because she is one of the most annoying SP2s in the entire game. She also just kind of kills things quickly, so that's kind of why we're using her here. Because I wanted to just kind of nuke the crap out of this Yelena boss before the fight could go haywire, especially since Yelena's a bit of a new defender, so I didn't exactly know like what the best champ to assign for it was. I think Gentle or Jean Grey are some of her best counters, but we don't have a Jean Grey, and I just wanted to do this instead of send Gentle. And I think it worked out pretty well, because Gentle would probably be like 3 minutes in this fight before she goes down, and Tigra, while less safe, is going to kill this fight in, was it under a minute? I don't think it's going to be under a minute. It's probably just going to be just over a minute or something. Also, charging your heavy attack during her special 2, because it's like 10 hits, you just get a full bar of power back from the special 2, which is pretty silly if you ask me. Tigra is kind of just silly like that, I guess. So I'm gonna go for all that stuff, and then we're gonna make another SP2 miss, and then double SP1 just finishes the job, right? Yes, that's exactly how the fight ends. So it's important to note that if the Yelena was duped and she was in, what is the mode? Elimination mode? I would almost say extermination mode. That's definitely not what it's called. But elimination mode, if you do that, then it would make it to where she can't miss during her special 2, but luckily that Yelena wasn't duped, so I didn't have to worry about it, right? And now we're going to go fight this Dark Phoenix here. We're also going to start by eating a combo to the face because I can't parry, I guess, or something. But this was the Dark Phoenix from the side quest. And not the side quest, but it was like a little event thing where you get the Green Phoenix if you beat her. And Tigra was just kind of the first counter I went for, and it was totally worth it because Tigra kind of rips this fight apart. Like, the only thing that is annoying about it is the final part where you're just eating a bunch of Nova Flame damage, which is kind of why you don't want to use Tigra for Dark Phoenix in BGs most of the time. Like, sometimes it's actually good if you just want to kill her fast, because that's something Tigra's very good at. Like, I've done this fight in 42 seconds in BGs, and 12 of those seconds are doing immortality. But unfortunately, you have to deal with the fact that she's going to hurt you with that Nova Flame. So I mean, that's kind of the case with a lot of Mystics versus Dark Phoenix, I guess. Like, Hood, Mojo, Shathra, Spiral are kind of some of her best counters. But if you're not one of those, then you're going to have a bit of a hard time. Isophine's also very good for Dark Phoenix. But, like, those are the ones that immediately come to mind. And most other Mystics are going to suffer, like Chavez, Kushala, Juggernaut, all the common ones are gonna kind of fall in the same category Tigra does, where you kill fast, but you have to take no flame damage at the end, so it might not be worth it. Which is pretty great defender design, honestly, making it to where some of those lower tier Mystics, like not the Mystics that really nuke the crap out of things, like Juggernaut, Kushala, Tigra, are a little bit hindered, and it brings strength to the other Mystics who aren't often as used. It's a really good defender design. But anyway, we're gonna kill Dark Phoenix at the end right here. After we almost die ourselves, because the Nova Flame hurts, but also we won the fight, so that's what really matters, I guess. Since it's not BGs, we don't care how much health we have. Now we're gonna move on to Eternity of Pain. I took 6, 7, or 8 bosses in this quest, and Tigra is obviously the challenge with Jabari Panther, one of the CCP challenges. So yeah, I mean, most people have probably already done this. Believe it or not, like, a lot of people I've seen haven't. including a bunch of people in my alliance who probably now have rank 4 Tigras and are doing it themselves. I've done this challenge, but I haven't even done the other CCP challenges. I've done like half of them, and I just haven't even bothered with the rest of them because I'm not interested in the 3 champs in the selector. But if you have a rank 4 Tigra now and you haven't done this challenge, here's your incentive, because she's going to destroy most of the quest. You can solo a lot of the fights, not all of them. And I definitely didn't solo some of the ones that are in the quest. But she's still going to be perfect for it, you know, besides the fact that she's one of the 2 attackers you can use for it. She's still perfect for the fight, right? Because that makes sense. And anyway, this Havoc is going to die right there after I take a little bit of a Plasma Detonate. We almost killed him before we got the Plasma Detonate. Unfortunately, we're just a little bit too slow. But he does go down quite nicely. So now we're going to go fight this Nick Fury here on the Clapback fight. Clapback, when it was designed, didn't hit Rupture because Rupture didn't exist yet. Believe it or not, Tigra is the first champ in the game who created Rupture, which is pretty cool. And yeah, like, you kind of take this fight like you would in BGs. Like, you don't want to get that Disorient on you, that's for sure. And you also don't want him to drop special ones into your block, because that sucks, which, you know, he's going to do that anyway, because he's Nick Fury. Does he do it again here? No, I just got a nice intercept. And then I want him to drop a special 2 here, and then I can make it miss, which is beautiful. And then I'm going to go for a heavy, and then a special 2. That's going to do pretty good damage. And at this point, he's going to drop another special 1 into my block. That happens to be unblockable, because that's nice of him. And then I'll drop my special 1, so we can retaliate, and then not push him into the... Oh yeah, this is funny. I want him to drop a special 1 here, so he loses the unblockable. And of course, he's not going to do it now, because why would he? He wants to drop it when he's going to go unblockable, but not when he would remove the unblockable, because, yeah, that's really cool. I know he's, like, coded to do that kind of thing, I think. It just sucks. It's so annoying. And then I'm finally going to counter with the special 1. So, yeah, like, the first life, ironically, is, like, so annoying to deal with for some reason. And then the second life, we're going to nuke the crap out of it. Once we get there, which is like right here that we're going to get there. And then I'm going to retaliate with the heavy because I know he's going to be passive as soon as he enters second life. And then he's going to drop a special 1. And then I'm going to go for a counter. And I drop my special 1 here. And then go for the heavies. He's power locked now because of one of the nodes, which is helping me out get to my special 2 before he gets to a special 1. That's really cool. And then does the special 2 kill? I think it will. And yeah, it looks like it's going to. So anyway, Nick goes down there. And now we're going to move on to Eternity of Pain Terex. This was a fun fight with Tigra back in the day. I made a video on this when it first came out. This one has like dash vulnerability, ebb and flow intercept, and another node that's actually going to kill me in this fight, and then I'm going to check at the end to see what it was. So yeah, this is actually a death. I'm going to show my death anyway, because it's a pretty good fight. But that little timer on me, I didn't know what it was actually for, and now I know what it's for. You're supposed to push him to a bar of power before that timer ends, and I didn't do that, so I'm actually going to die. And it's going to be really unfortunate, because I was like, wait, how did I die there? Oh, I'm supposed to push him to a bar of power, okay. So yeah, I check it here. It's another node it was on like another fight recently. I think, yeah, it was Gwenpool in Epic of Pain, actually. I think it was reused again. But I forgot that node existed, and I probably should have read better, because then I wouldn't have died if I knew what the hell I was doing, right? Anyway, now we're going to go fight this Dragon Man. This one's a fun one, because you kind of just neutralize the buffs away, and then you're kind of just gaming. So, fun fact about Tigra versus Dragon Man. Once you get him to consume his first power gain, you can just kind of neutralize him getting any more for the rest of the fight. So that's pretty nice. And then Dragon Man's just going to give you free willpower healing most of the fight, because is funny. He's one of those defenders where it's like, okay, this guy probably had a pretty cool defender kit design, except for the fact that you're giving the attacker free willpower healing the whole fight, so he's actually not much of a threat when you're just healing, you know. And then he drops a special 2 here, but I block some of it. But I do lose my senses. I think this is like the one really bad part in the fight, and then once I get my senses back, everything's kind of back under control. So I drop my special 1 there, get my Huntress sense back, and now I have both Primal and Huntress. And I'm gonna go, you know, retaliate his special 1s and heavy attacks with my heavy. The reach works out perfectly. I just have to dex them and then go for the heavy, and then I'm gonna go for my special 2 here, and then do a couple heavies, get to 1 more special 2, and Dragon Man's definitely gonna die. Neutralized got his power gain, which you absolutely love to see, and then I get an intercept, and then I'm gonna dash back, go unblockable, drop special 2, and then Dragon Man goes down. And now we're gonna go down to the right side of this quest. Start with Bishop, then move to Craven, and then we're gonna go fight the Thanos boss. So Bishop first. Tigra versus Bishop is one of my OG favorite matchups. Bishop's not much of a defender in BGs anymore, but he definitely used to be a very common defender. And Tigra was always my go-to for that, because you just kind of dash into the special 2 and then make the special 2 miss. And believe it or not, I suck at dexing Bishop's special 2. I am so terrible at dexing it. I swear it catches me every time. But with Tigra, I don't need to worry about having a dex hit, because Tigra just kind of makes it not hit me anyway, which is really, really cool. So, anyway, yeah, just bait the special 2, dash in, heavy attack. If he's in the corner, then you're going to have a really easy counter. If he's not, you're going to have to worry about it a little bit more, kind of like the arcade special 1, because he like pushes himself really far backwards with the blast at the end, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Just keep him in the corner. Hopefully he drops the specials while in the corner as well, and it's kind of a non-issue. So he takes a little bit of meltdown damage, and then he just dies there. And my special 1 just whiffs for style points or something. So now we're gonna go fight Craven with Tigra. This is an interesting one. For this one, we're gonna bait and punish his special 1s, and then use only my special 1s myself. And then when his special 1 places the trap, I just want to drop my special 1 immediately when I cross over it. You're gonna see exactly what that looks like, I think, right here. Because he's gonna place a trap at his feet, but Tigra is just going to make it go away. When I just do this, and that was actually clunky. I'm gonna do it a bit better on the next tries, like that. I don't know why I'm doing it that way. I should just go for the first hit and then cancel into the special 1, because that would also be safe. I don't know if I learned that from like Necropolis Craven or what, but that's how I should be doing this, where I actually do land the first hit instead of charging it. That's just stupid. I'm being dumb. So sorry about that. You actually land the first hit of your heavy and then cancel into your special 2. It's so much better. Or special 1, I mean. I like that. That's exactly what I was supposed to do, except I don't need to delay it. I should just go immediately after a special 1. Like, just release my heavy immediately after he fires the arrow. I don't know why I'm charging it so long. That's just stupid. I've said that enough this fight. But anyway, we're going to do the heavy attacks, do the things, and then go for a special 1 right after I counter his. But there we go. That's exactly what I'm supposed to do. And usually he doesn't block it either. I don't know how he blocked it there. That's not what normally happens. Kind of like Onslaught's heavy cancel for some reason. I don't know how they block it sometimes, but sometimes they just do. And then he's going to go for a heavy here. And then he's going to drop a special 2. And I think I'm going to get close to my special 2. Except there's a lot of... Holy crap, that was really bad game lag. So anyway, I'm going to go for an intercept, and then I'm going to drop my special 2. Of course he's not going to drop a special 1 once all my ruptures are falling off. So this special 2 is not going to do much damage because all my ruptures fell off. And I'm not getting unblockable at the start of the fight, at the start. But he's almost dead. One more special 1's definitely going to do it, if not the ruptures before that. And no, it's my heavy attack that does kill him. Okay, cool. So yeah, there goes Craven. And then now we're gonna go fight this nameless Thanos. So I think I soloed this fight with Tigra, back when this quest first came out. So kind of reliving some old memories using her for it again. You still can't counter his heavy attack animation, which is annoying. Thanos' heavy attack animation, I swear, is like almost uncounterable. Deathless Thanos. It is quite literally the worst. So here I'm going to drop a special 2, which is going to remove the effects of the stone that he had. And then I go for a heavy to retaliate. And just keep doing that. I'm going to beta heavy, counter with my medium attack, and then go for another special 2 in just a minute. But he drops his first, but that's okay, because I can just drop my special 2 and remove the stone and stuff, so it doesn't really matter. And then do the heavy attack after my special 2 and retaliate. Oh, wait, never mind, we push him to the next phase. Okay, my bad. Oh, yeah, and then we get MCoC and IMAX. That was pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna have the cinematic mode, the IMAX mode for some reason, because I don't know why, but the game decided that's what it was gonna do. You can't make his special 2 miss. This Thanos cannot miss on a special 2, so that's annoying. I just kind of have to dex it normally, which is also a little bit hard when you're in IMAX. And also, don't try to counter that, and also don't try to light attack, I guess, because that somehow whiffed. I don't freaking know. But anyway. Am I going to go for a special 1 here? No. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go for that instead. I kind of need to get my senses back. Maybe I should have gone for a special 1. Or am I going to do that later? I guess I'm doing that later, but they're probably going to fall off. Do I save them? No, I don't save them. But I do get an intercept. And then I remove the invert controls on me. So heavy attack after the special 1. He dashes in. Beautiful. And then I... What's happening? Okay. Invert controls dex. Got it. And here I'm gonna just combo, remove the invert controls from me, and then go for another special 1. Get myself ready for the last phase. But you don't need Tigra Senses for the last phase. The last phase is just all about intercepting and then launching your special 3. Basically, you're gonna get armor breaks placed on you, and then when you intercept, you place them on him. And you want to just drop the special 3 during the armor breaks, because otherwise he's gonna be indestructible. So yeah, if he like doesn't play into your intercepts, then you're just kind of dead. Like if he just does a walk up light, which you know the AI loves, then you're dead. But hopefully he doesn't do that, and we can just drop this. I think it's like 2 SP3s is gonna kill him, and then yeah, you got to get the safeguard, just like all these Thanos fights, like the one in the Gauntlet and Ordeal and stuff as well. You want to get a safeguard for his SP3 that you are going to be forced to eat. And this one only does 20% of my health, so I just have to... I can eat more than if it was 25%, so like the difference is 4 and 5 at that point. But I think this SP3 kills him. Do I press the skip SP3 button? No, I actually do play it out. Oh yeah, I literally put my phone down. I remember. I was with a friend, I put my phone down, showed him the SP3 animation, and it was just like, yeah, he's dead now. So yeah, that's a cool fight. Now I believe I have an off-season war fight where I'm taking this Dark Phoenix on the intercept node. And yeah, this one goes pretty well, I think. So that's cool to know that this fight, you know, you can still take Tigra versus Dark Phoenix in war. On this node, I don't think I'd assign Tigra over some other Dark Phoenix counters. Because, you know, there are better Dark Phoenix counters in the game than Tigra, but she still does the pretty good job, as you're gonna see. And Ebb and Flow Intercept, it's like, it's good for Tigra, but also bad for Tigra, because increasing Tigra's attack rating means a lot to her, because she can't increase it naturally, so it's a big benefit. But also, Ebb and Flow Intercept means that I'm gonna be losing my Ruptures sometimes. I got it really nice there where my special actually intercepted, and that just took a large chunk off of her health. That's a lot of damage for these war fights, because these war fights take a while, man, I swear. And then I'm going to go for the special 2 here. It actually doesn't remove protection because she didn't dash in, and then I lost all my Ruptures, but that's okay. Like, we can afford to do a special 2 into protection. I have a good bit of health, and I have plenty of time on the clock. And then I'm gonna go for a special 2 here, which that was funny. She decks and then parried, so props to the AI for doing both of the basic masteries in 0.5 seconds, I guess. Better timing than me sometimes. And then I'm gonna go for my special 2 there into protection, because it doesn't friggin' matter. And we're in the immortality phase. Good thing about this phase is that, good thing for Tigra in this phase, I mean, is the fact that the special 2 is actually going to be unblockable. And I can't dex it, mainly because I haven't practiced. I probably could if I actually did practice. But Tigra can just make it miss, because she's good like that. And then, I don't have to worry about it. And then last up is going to be Tigra versus Red Goblin in Necropolis. This is actually where I'm going to wrap the video up, because I've been talking for 35 minutes straight without a break. Yeah, this was all in one take. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. I'm going to pat myself on the back now. But this Tigra versus Red Goblin fight, it's pretty just like Tigra doing heavies and special 2s the whole fight, and then occasionally special 1s when I need a sense. Just to kind of show if she's good for Necropolis fights. And I think she's good for some. She doesn't have like the best long fight damage. She's not designed to have a good long fight damage, but she can do a lot of Necro fights in one revive. Not just cosmic ones too. And yeah, so she's like very good for this fight. I mean, you're gonna have some combat power rate reductions, which just kind of make this one a slog for most attackers, but it's still a great fight. And yeah, I'm just gonna wrap up the video because this whole 7-minute fight is the same thing. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this one, I hope you actually did, and you would leave a like and a subscribe. All the YouTube things I'm obligated to tell you to help support the channel. This is my 4th rank, 4 7-star, and now I have a showcase up for all of them. I'm saving my 5th for the next Titan rollover, and rank 4ing 1 of 2 of the champs entering the pool. I'm not going to say who they are. I'll save that for when the pool kind of gets closer. But anyway, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do the Tigra things versus Red Goblin, and I'm gonna sign out right now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.